Just as she kept apologizing, her gaze accidentally landed in the cover of a magazine in her hand. The guy next to her, a mega movie star. How exciting. Hearing her self-important speech, Anne's guilt vanished in a puff of smoke, and she disdainfully said, "Honestly, I'm just not that, but I'm just so touched, you know. Some people get really emotional, and I'm totally feeling it, by her arrogance." Instead of getting mad, Beckett found herself incredibly intrigued. The sassy girl? She sure attracted plenty of eager admirers. But a girl like Anne is a first for her. Worse still, that confidence is unbearable. Anne kept a straight face, clearly unimpressed with this hotshot. Beckett couldn't help but wonder if she had walked into the wrong movie. Silence reigned as the plane swiftly landed in Ireland. Beckett stepped off like a beetle amid a frenzy of fans. Anne was whisked away by her host family, totally unprepared for the fact that her romance with the sleuth star was just beginning. Plot twist. Jet lag's a killer. Anne crashed out after room set-up, woke to the sun high. "I need to pull a hair." "You can't go out. I don't want you disturbing the guests." Turns out, the family runs a boarding house and a hotel. What a 2-for-1 deal. But Anne was puzzled. Why can't she go out when there are guests? Just then, Emma's mom stepped in for a crash course on last time's. One time Emma chatted with a guest, and whoops. A glass of cranberry juice ruined their clothes. To protect the hotel vibe, they handed breakfast duties to Anne. Anne was totally okay with this little favor until she realized the guest was a familiar face. "You didn't eat my food, did you? What on earth are you doing here? Do I look like a hostess? Are you seriously talking?" "No, not really. I don't care." Looks like Anne gave up any desire to argue. With hands on hips, she asked sharply, "Shouldn't a star stay in a 5-star hotel? Why here?" "This is bougie. This is posh. The food is fabulous. And the service. I'll be here until we wrap shooting, so do me a favor, don't come into my room again." After hearing her confidence, Anne didn't even care to respond. Once back at the restaurant, she became curious about why Beckett was here. Before the couple could reply, their daughter got jittery, and Mom's face showed panic as she shielded her from going into the rest. Just then, Dad asked curiously who Beckett was. Was he joking? Her old man was the biggest star around. He has his own stickers, I admit. Oh, so that's why Mom was so keen on stopping her daughter from leaving. The girl was a super fan of Beckett, practically shouting, "Don't let anyone know he's here, girl." So, Beckett staying here wasn't just about proximity to the set. It was mostly about dodging the public eye. This low-key move clashed hilariously with Anne's perception of her as arrogant. Surprised, but she decided to let it go. Anne's disinterest in Beckett didn't mean he wasn't curious about her. Day was silent, but night came. While Anne was practicing her violin, someone suddenly knocked on the door. "What's going on in here?" "Sounds great." Anne thought she was bothering someone and was about to apologize, until Beckett barged right in, doing her own thing. She quickly grabbed a sketchbook from the bed, asking curiously about the cross, and Anne snatched it back, explaining it was a keepsake from her brother. Looking at Beckett, Anne suddenly had an epiphany and began to spill the tea on why she was in Ireland. School's just part. Her brother lived here, and an accident occurred a year ago. Brother said goodbye to this world forever, and Anne's longing was overwhelming. She just couldn't focus after that. Just recently, she bombed a violin exam, leading her to decide to go to her brother's old haunts in search of the cross in the sketchbook. The cross had her brother's name written beneath it. Anne was convinced it held a message for her. Beckett changed her demeanor right away, promising to rally the troops to help out. Anne, filled with gratitude, she told Beckett the secret to seek her help, as finding this one island, filled with crosses, was like a needle in a haystack. Seeing Anne with a smile, Beckett finally recalled her real reason for coming here after all. She definitely didn't want to be in the public eye. Not even her crew knew she was here, leading to a total nobody to rehearse with. Anne promptly understood what Beckett wanted, her help. She agreed immediately to help. In that wee room, the dim light reflected their excitement. Who would have thought? As the emotional lines escalated, they transformed from sworn enemies to unexpected kindred spirits. As Anne's face inched closer, her awkward shyness took over. She finally retreated to her own room. The following morning, Beckett, who was always unrestrained and at ease, directly came into the kitchen for a meal and happened to overhear a few people discussing plans to delay taking Anne out to see the Irish scenery. Oh no, Emma's dad burnt his hand to avoid last night's embarrassment and refused Beckett's offer. She was fully conscious of the reason for her being here. It was not for romance, rather. It was for seeking the clues left by her brother. She spent her free time scouring dozens of spots, yet still, no luck in finding the cross depicted in her brother's drawing. Meanwhile, Beckett seemed oblivious, her mind constantly swelling with thoughts of taking Anne out to see the Irish sights. However, her offer was clearly ignored, hoping their unspoken bond would solve the issue. You help me draw and color in my lines. It'll be your personal tour guide, so every destination will become ridiculously fun. They had previously struck a deal. She'd help Anne find the cross from her brother's drawing, while Anne would aid Beckett in her line